How's it going, everybody? Nathaniel from RCInsight here, and today I am going to be showing you how to solve the Perplexus Rubik's Cube hybrid. This is not a walkthrough on how to solve the maze, but rather a tutorial on how to get your cubes to align so that you can continue going through the track. This will be extremely helpful because if you do not know how to align the different sections of the maze and are just simply twisting and turning aimlessly, hoping that eventually your course will line up, you will never be able to complete this. So I'm simply telling you a few surefire methods on how to line up the course tracks in this Perplexus maze so that you can solve it yourself. The walkthrough will be coming later, and when it is available, I will have a card up in the top right and also a link in the description for that. So there's two main methods that I want to show you on how you can always line up your track. We're going to start with just a simple one that will work no matter what. I'm just going to start with the start. Say we got to line up 1 with number 2, and 2 is here. So you can see they're actually next to each other like they need to be, but you're sitting here going, oh, but they're not lined up. I need it to be here, and it is not. So how do I do this? The first method works so long as whichever cube you're trying to line up is not in one of these two quadrants. So in this case, it's over here. If it was here, it would not work. If it was here, it would not work either. So as long as it is not in the quadrant like directly next to wherever you are with the marble currently, you'll be fine. So in this case, it was here. That's fine. It's not here. No big deal. And so I'll demonstrate. It's the 2 turns forward, 1 turn counterclockwise, 1 turn back. So we're going to do 2 turns forward, 1 turn base counterclockwise, okay, then 1 turn back. Now we're still not lined up. So we go 2 turns forward, 1 turn counterclockwise, 1 turn back. And just like that, we are now lined up. Now, let's try this again. Now we need to get 6 lined up with 7 here, and our 7 is down here. It's not in this quadrant now because we're dealing with this square. So it's not in this quadrant. We're okay. This method will keep working. If this 7, which is here, was in this quadrant, it wouldn't work. We just have to move it out of that quadrant. Very simple. But so we'll do the same thing. 2 turns forward. Doesn't line up. 1 turn counterclockwise, 1 turn back. 2 turns forward, 1 turn counterclockwise, 1 turn back. Still doesn't line up. And just like that, we continue it until it lines up. That method will always work at lining up the piece for you. It will always work. So if you're ever in doubt, you don't know where to go, if you just keep cycling through that, cycling through that, cycling through that, you'll notice the only cube that didn't move in that entire process was this one here, which is why it couldn't be in this quadrant. All the rest of the cubes were continually moving across the grid. This one didn't, which is why it can't be there. But otherwise, you do that, you just keep rotating it, rotating it, rotating it, and eventually you'll get your course lined up. Now, there's also a little more advanced method, I guess you could say. It won't work wherever the cube is. You can't have it anywhere, and you can't have whatever quadrant you need anywhere in the maze and have it work. So it's a little more advanced because you have to know what you're doing a little bit more. You can't just keep twisting until it lines up. But this is what I like to call the rotation method. So now we'll say, okay, we need to get 9 to line up with 10. 10 is right here. In this case, I realize, oh, I'm going to rotate it to meet up, and in this case, it matches up already, so I don't need to do anything more. So now we're going to move on to the next quadrant then and say, okay, I want to line up 15 here with 16, which is the green. And I look at that and I go, okay, that does not line up. I need it to line up up here, and that is not lined up. So this is where I'm going to use my other method. Now this method only works when you move the cube that you need to line up with across from it, so over here. So if it was up here, it wouldn't work. If it was down here, it wouldn't work. And so this is why. So you need, in order to try this method, you need to have it on the opposite side of the board. And so you need to line them up and say, okay, right now it doesn't line up. And so then this is what I call the rotation method. You're going to flip it forward. You're going to go all the way around. So 1, 2, 3 turns. And now it's back on the other side here. So you started here, it didn't line up, you took it down, all the way around 3 rotations, and then back up. And then you'll spin it forward. And you'll see it still doesn't line up. So we know that they have to match, so we're going to rotate this cube again. So forward, then 1, 2, 3, all the way around like that. So it's back here, and then we bring it forward again. And now you see the track is lined up. And so we've again flipped the orientation of the cube. And so that is my preferred method on how to solve it. It will work no matter what you're doing. If we wanted to line up 17 now to 18, I believe is where we need to go next. That's over here. So I'm going to bring this. It's currently on the same side, so I'm going to bring it to the other side here. I'm going to flip it forward and see, does it line up? No, it does not line up. So I'm going to do the same method again. Forward, swing it around, and now I've rotated the cube successfully. Still doesn't line up. So we're going to do this again. Forward, bring it around. I've changed the orientation of that cube another time, and now the track lines up. And so that is my preferred method. It requires you to both know A, what quadrant you are going to, and B, to know how to move it to the other side of the board. It's not that difficult, but you have to know where you're going, and that is my preferred method of aligning the track in this cube, because it's very simple. Every single time, if you do this, it will rotate the cube until it lines up. So you just keep going through 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, doesn't line up, then forward 1, 2, 3, boom, and it lines up. And so that method will always work. So guys, that is how you solve this Perplexus Rubik's Cube hybrid. I will give you a walkthrough later once I have completed it myself. But now you guys know a surefire way to consistently line up the track, which should be really helpful. You won't be stabbing in the dark anymore, and you should be able to figure out much easier how to maneuver your way through the maze. It takes out the Rubik's Cube portion of the difficulty because you know how to consistently line up the track. So if you guys found this useful, please click the like button to show your support. And if you're looking for a walkthrough and a review of this Perplexus Rubik's Cube, subscribe so that you can be notified as soon as those videos come out. And with all that said, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.